Just going to introduce you to topographical maps. In the old days, you used to have to purchase them from a store in order to get what certain map you want. But nowadays, they're all on the internet. You can download them. So the thing you need to do is click onto portal.spatial.newsouthwales.gov.au. Okay, that's the one up there. Once you're in here, you need to get into the topographical maps section, and you'll notice that you're able to get access to all the maps across New South Wales. Each map is broken up into little tiny squares you'll see on the screen here. So you want to zoom into the area that you want to do. For example, I'm going to download Casino. All right. So here's a little box for Casino. I'm going to touch on this on the screen, and that highlights it. From here, you'll notice that it brings you up a little pop-up menu, and you've got a bunch of blue more infos. They're the ones you want to click onto. So I want to go for the latest map, so the 2022 one. So I'm going to click on the more info, and that will just download the topographical map for you. The good thing about this one here is if you're dealing with local rivers where you're in a short area of 10 or 20 kilometres, this is the sort of map you want to be getting onto. I can tell from this map that it's going to be 1 in 25,000. Let me have a look. There it is at the very top there. You've got 1 in 25,000. So that's a really high definition map for your area. I can also tell from this one here that the contour interval is 10 metres. That's information you may need to know. Thing with contours is these are the contour lines here. Each one of these lines is 10 metres apart. So I can tell that that line at that point is 50 metres above sea level. That's 100 metres above sea level. And they're 10 metres apart. So I can certainly tell that this area is steeper than this area in here. Okay, that's all flat. Down here's flat. Okay, it starts getting steeper, steeper, steeper. So they're the contour intervals. Also, it gives you some other information about what is on the map. Each different thing will give tell you what it is next to it there. And I can also tell that the map we're dealing with here in the middle is Casino. The one north of that map is Lanuk. The one south, east, west. So you can work out what is the next map next to you. These maps are designed to be broken up into smaller sections. So from here, where I taught you earlier about these coordinates there, minus 28 and 50, using those ones on this type of map, it's going to be very hard, okay, because you're breaking it down into 60s, where we need to break these smaller boxes down into 10, which is the advantage of UTM. All right, so these numbers for what you're doing for UTM, don't worry about them. You're looking for these numbers here. 68, well, that's a bigger map area. And then within map 68, you've got these lines here, 10, 11, 12, all the way up. So from there to there is 1 kilometre, 1K. So if I was to break this box down into 10, that would allow me to give a reading of 68105, 6, 7, or the next box, 68115. Okay, we're breaking it down into decimal system. At the very bottom of the map here, there is the other number that you need. Stand by. We're really lucky that this is starting at 1 and 2. That's luck. Don't worry about that. That wasn't, yeah, it's just the way the map fell, unfortunately, but that's cool. It makes it easier for us to work out. But the number we're looking for UTM is that 5. See that 5 there? Okay. So on a GPS, you may need to put in a 0 there. That 5 by itself may not like GPSs, so you may have to put a 0 in front of that. Okay. So if I was to give a coordinate of let's go, looks like a racetrack or something just there, an oval, Queen Elizabeth Park. What is the coordinate of that? All right, so let's have a look. We know that we are in map 56J. The simple fact of where we are on the Earth, I know we're at 56J. All right, this map on here that you've downloaded won't have 56J on it. I couldn't find it. You might be able to find it for me, but anyway. With UTM, we've got to walk before we climb. So we want to give these numbers before we give these numbers. We walk before we climb. So if I was looking at that mark there, and I was giving a UTM coordinate, it would be 56J 05 052. If I was giving a coordinate of those cluster of houses there, it would be 05 025. And then it would be 68 066. That would be the coordinate for that one. So that allows us to get really in depth on a real close, accurate spot on the Earth, even to a closeness of 10 meters. We're using these other figures, it's a little bit harder. Okay. So download the UTM map, give UTM coordinates where you can, and you're all good. Another way as a canoer, what you could do as a guide is, instead of giving all those massive coordinates, you could leave a lot of that stuff out. I could just photograph this section of a map, leave that at home with your manager, okay, and then they know you're working on this section of the river, okay, they know you're there. So they would have already the coordinates, 56J, 05, and then the other number would be 68, but you'd only give these little coordinates. I'd be saying, well, if I'm at the riverside yard here, I would just give the coordinate 016 085, and they'll know exactly where you are in a very low, small scale. Okay, and then if something happens, they could then give the information to the emergency services of the map you're on and say you're just there. Okay, you can make it a bit easier. That's UTM. Well done. Now what we've got, once we've downloaded this map, I'm going to import it into another program to allow me to make it more user-friendly. All right, so up here I've got my download button. That might be different to whatever program you're using or computer. Because I'm on a tablet, an iPad, I'm going to click on that one. It'll download it. It's going to ask me, well, where do you want to send it to? I want to send it to a file. I want to send it to my Paddle Australia Flat Water folder, and I'm going to save it. It's going to save it as Casino. Now it's gone into my computer. From here, I'm going to go into a program, an app called Avenza Maps. Okay, Avenza Maps is cool. It's a free program to download, and because I have downloaded that first casino map, I want to download it into the Avenza map. So up here I'm going to download it. I'm going to get it from a storage location on my device. I'm going to find it. I'm looking for casino. Here it is here. Okay, I'm going to click on that. I'm going to open it, and it's going to download it here. Once it's in there, I can then open the map. All right. Now, this program I've just seen that I've already downloaded the Lismore map. I'm currently in Lismore at the moment, and it's put up on here for me on map. So it's telling me I'm on the map of Lismore. So that helps me. I can then open up Lismore map, which I previously downloaded. And because the Avenza map uses my device to get my GPS coordinate, it puts my coordinate, the blue dot here, on the map. So I know where I am in relation to this map right now. So let's zoom in. Let's see how accurate it is. And that's spot on, within 10 metres of where I am right now. All right, that little crosshair one in the middle, that's just in the centre of the map, and that allows me to pick a certain point on a map. All right, so from here, I can use this in a variety of different ways. I can plan a route. So let's say I'm having a trip from Lismore down to, I don't know, Baxter Field, just down here. So what I'm going to do is use my bottom right corner. I've got a pen and a ruler. I'm going to click on that. It's going to open up options. From here, I'm going to draw and measure. So I want to know distance. So I'm going to use that draw and measure. I'm going to use that little crosshairs in the middle in order to place it where I'm going to start. Let's say I'm starting at Spinks Park, just here. Okay. Up the very top there, I've got my details of what I'm doing. It's telling me it's 10 metres above the ground. And down here I've got add point. So from here, I'm going to add a point, and that marked that spot. As I move that cursor out, I'm going to add a new point. I'm going to continue on, adding a point, and just keep going, drawing a line as to where I'm going to finish. Let's say I want to finish at Lismore Lakes, just here. I can tell that our total distance is 3.37 kilometres, all right, and that'll give you the coordinate of where that last spot was. So that's a handy way for you to determine distances on rivers to work out how far you can travel in so many hours. Most canoeing trips, you probably average 4 k's an hour on flat water and probably only about 2 or 3 kilometres on white water. You think white water's moving, so you might be faster, but in actual fact, just slow down because you spend a lot of time setting up safety cover in rapids. Okay, so that's it. That's Avenza Maps. I hope you've enjoyed that. And yeah, that's the icon up there you want to download. Avenza Maps. Pretty cool stuff.